All right, so today's video that we are going to review is from a lady who's has her channel named after herself. Her name is Olivia Alexa. And the title of the video is definitely what got me. The title of the video is "A Woman is Useless If She Can't Offer You This." Now, I want to be clear, that's her title. That's not mine. Okay. I'm not saying that. But that definitely opened up my eyes as I have to see what another woman is saying. A woman will be useless unless she can provide for her man. So I'm going to go ahead and play a clip and then we'll discuss it.
There is one trait above all traits that defines a feminine woman. This one trait forms the core of what every man desires from the woman that he wants. And that trait is her ability to be a man's peace.
Now, if you peruse YouTube enough, you'll find those compilations of videos where the man on the street will be asking the women their opinion about men. And they will generally say they need to make 100,000, 200,000, a million, whatever it is. And you also see a lot of women saying, the man needs to handle them. A woman will assume that a man is intimidated by them if they make too much money or if they're strong, independent, the whole spiel. But the words "handle me" definitely come out a lot. He needs to be able to handle me and my spirit, my strength. Now, that is not what a man is looking to do. What Olivia is saying here is exactly correct. We need you to be our peace. Now, she's going to say something else here. I'm going to play that clip. That's very, very important for you men to listen to.
A masculine man's life is defined by adversity. He's built for battles in the outside world, whether it be foraging for food in the ancestral days, fighting wars 100 years ago, or slaving away at work in the modern industrial world to provide for his woman and family. As a man, a woman who is truly your peace is one that can be your place of healing and rejuvenation at the end of the day. She's someone you can be vulnerable with without being shamed or judged for it. Someone that makes you feel like it was all worth it when you look at her. This is the most beautiful, raw form of femininity any man can experience.
Okay, so in the traditional sense, the man is out providing, the woman is at home, and the man wants the woman to be his peace while the woman wants the man to provide. Okay, there's a trick to this. Make sure that the woman is going to be at peace with what you can provide. So if you meet a woman when you're making 75,000 and she requires 150, while there may be some benefit to meeting someone who says, I'm sure there are a lot of stories where, women stuck to their men when he didn't have a lot, and then the man makes the money and everything works out. That can happen. That can happen. But it is up to you as a man to determine and decipher whether or not she's really someone who can stick with you while you're building your worth, or if you need to table that woman as an option and either date and marry within your current means or wait until you've created your value as a man. What I'm trying to say is that if you make $75,000 a year, and you meet a woman as she would prefer you to make 150,000, but she will accept you making 75 because she likes some of the other qualities that you have, be sure, be really, really, really sure that she is going to be at peace with you only making 75 if that's what you've peaked out on, whatever it is that you do, whether you're a school teacher, whatever it is. If you know that, I might make it to 80, 85, maybe one day I'll make it to 100, but you know that you're not in a career where you're going to be getting to 150, 250. Make sure that she's going to be okay with that she's going to be at peace with that. Now, what does that look like? Well, if you're out working and she's at home and she's growing ever more irritated that you can't really afford a vacation, maybe she sees her girlfriends being able to go out and they can go get massages, or they can go, do activities and take trips, things that you can't afford to do. She's not going to be at peace with what you're providing. So then she's not going to be your peace. And yes, the responsibility is the man's. And what I mean by that is it's not your responsibility to jump through all of the hoops to meet her constant demands if they're increasing. But if when you meet her, you're making 75 and she tells you, I'm okay with this for now, but I would like you to get to 150. You need to provide that 150 before she's genuinely going to be at peace. So if you know that you're making 75 and you're probably going to be making 75 for the next 3 or 4 years, maybe you get to 80, 85, like I said, if you know that she's not going to be content and at peace with that, do not marry this woman. Do not get into a long-term relationship with her, because if you're not providing what she's telling you she wants, she's not going to be at peace. Now, we can sit here as men and say, well, you expect too much, you expect too much. But that's her expectations. The same way as we can tell a woman, well, we expect you to stay home with the kids, raise the kids, I expect my meal when I come home, whatever it is. Those are our expectations. We're entering into a relationship and we are saying, this is what I want, this is what you want. We will both provide for each other, and then you will be at peace because you're each being provided what you've asked. Now, you may disagree with, well, boy, you need a man that's going to make 200,000. Boy, that's a lot. That's a lot. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But the time to argue about that is not after you've committed to her. Okay? That's how you're going to vet through the women that are for you and not for you. So if you enter a relationship with a woman knowing that you do not satisfy 3 of the 10 criterias that she has, you can bitch and moan and groan and complain as a man that she has too high expectations and she's entitled. You can make all those complaints. But if you're dumb enough to marry her, well, that's on you, because you already knew that she was not going to be happy with what you provide. And if she's not happy and content with what you provide, she's not going to be at peace when she's at home. And if she's not at peace, brother, you ain't going to be at peace either. That's the bottom line. Every man knows that. So while I do agree and concur with the idea that a lot of women these days can have an overinflated value, their self-worth and self-value in terms of how much they think the man should be providing, I do agree that that does happen. The same point is men, marry a woman that you know is happy with who you are now, not who you promised to be, not who you think you're going to be in 5 years. And I mean that in all aspects, whether it's physically, financially, spiritually, wherever you are now. If she is illustrating points that, well, I would like you to prove here, and you need to get better here, and you need to get better here, but I'll stick with you while you improve. There are rare occasions in which that can work. But again, you have to be sure that she's genuinely going to be okay with however long it's going to take you to get there. And if you don't get there, what if you make 75, she wants 150, you better be damn sure that she's going to stick with you if you tap out at 110. That's it. The company's downsizing. I'm lucky I've still got my job, babe, right? And so you got to be sure about these things before you get into a commitment. So I see a lot of men will complain and bitch and moan and groan after the fact. Is like, you committed to her. You knew in the beginning, or at least you should have known. All right. These are discussions that you need to have. And there are ways as men that you can find these things out. Okay. If she's complaining about the first date because she didn't go and spend $200 on dinner, there's your sign. All right. If a month in she's telling you, well, I need to be able to go away for a weekend like every 2 months, and you can't do it, and you don't know when you're going to be doing it, you're going to be miserable, because she may eventually accept that you can't do that, but she's going to keep that in her back pocket, and she's going to bring it up when something else doesn't go right. She's going to say, well, and this and this and this. Don't do that to yourselves. Okay. Commit to a woman that loves you and accepts you and is at peace with who you are now. Then you can improve, and then that will get better, right? Everything will improve from there. But if you stick yourself in a relationship with a woman who is standing by your side while you work on yourself, and she's just kind of waiting to see, that's bad news. It's a recipe for disaster most of the time.